Hi everyone, I'm Kelly and I'm one of the Parsley health coaches, and today we're here with Girl with a Gourmet Palette, Alexa, and we're going to talk a little bit about the holiday season and how to stay feeling our best when there's a lot going on. That said, Alexa, how are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm good. I feel good. I've been going to tons of events and stuff, so I'm feeling a little bit like, I've been eating some things out of the way, and I've been having some drinks that I don't necessarily have all the time, so we're gonna figure out how to feel better.
So what are some of your symptoms that you're feeling this holiday season? How are some of the predominantly ways that you're not feeling your best?
Just like a little bit bloated,
Yeah.
a little extra tired.
Sure.
I feel like from having things that I'm allergic to, it's kind of allowing me to be a little more fatigued and really just bloated, tired.
Great. So I have some really good ideas on how we can kind of work around some of the symptoms you're experiencing and have you feel a lot better.
Cool.
Honestly, I'm going to start with one of the most basic tips of all time. It's not really going to break the bank in any way, which is one of the best ways to start typically.
Cool.
But honestly, hydration is one of the biggest things. Flushing our system is such an underrated mechanism for making us feel better. Truthfully, especially if it's kind of the holiday season, you're going to holiday parties a lot, really staying hydrated is going to be one of the best ways to really feel your best. It's not only water that makes you feel hydrated though, electrolytes actually play a really big part in that specifically. We really think predominantly of sodium, chloride, and potassium as three of the most impactful electrolytes for helping with hydration status. Of course, you can get these electrolytes through food, but if it's the next morning after a party or something, and maybe you're feeling bloated, you're feeling dehydrated, you have that classic dry mouth when you wake up in the morning, water is going to be helpful, but also putting electrolytes is almost going to help that water stick a little bit better. So you're not just going to pee it out, it's actually going to help balance that solutes in your blood and going to help you rehydrate faster.
Amazing.
So for a great electrolyte, we think of maybe simple like a Untitled Tab. These also come in different types of varieties and brands, whether they're powders or something you just mix into your drink, a really easy way to get them in. So if you're someone that doesn't necessarily want to buy a product or have to mix something in, don't worry. Nature has a wonderful sports drink for you. Predominantly, you might have heard of it. It's called coconut water. Coconut water is going to have a ton of potassium, sodium, and chloride in it too. So if you want to grab one of these babies and slurp it down, it's going to help rehydrate you a little bit. So those are honestly another basic, but hydration, electrolytes, key. In addition to water and coconut water, you might really want to be craving something warming to really help you to digest and feel a little bit better the next day.
Totally.
Or even the night of, honestly. One of the best things to do for that is honestly ginger. Yes, it's delicious, has that little spice to it. But beyond that, studies show that it can be even more effective than anti-nausea medication with helping with digestion and that feeling of unsettling that you get the next day. It's because it really helps to encourage release from the stomach into the intestines so things aren't sitting heavy and you feel a little bit better. Cool. If you're not loving doing a tea bag, you can actually make your own ginger tea.
Amazing. How do you make that?
It's really simple. You actually just peel the ginger. I find some of the easiest, hard thing to peel. If you look at it, it has a lot of fingers going on.
Yes.
Right? A little ugly looking. But really one of the best techniques is to break off a piece and you can peel it with a spoon. It's actually one of the best mechanisms with the back of the spoon. You can do a couple fresh slices in a mug and then just pour the hot water over it, let it steep for about 3 to 5 minutes. And then I really like topping it with a lemon wedge. Also added benefit for detoxification of the body and just tastes a little better, honestly.
Amazing.
Yeah. In addition to ginger, also chamomile can really help if you're feeling just a little bit anxious the next day, because you just don't feel great. It really is more calming and settling for you. Always making sure that the teas you pick are non-caffeinated herbal teas, because again, things like green and black tea, which have a little bit of caffeine, and certainly having a bunch of coffee the next day, it's gonna be more of a diuretic. It's gonna be more dehydrating.
Yeah, I live with a coffee in my hand.
Sure.
24/7. I'm
so
just dehydrated.
Right, exactly. Especially the day after you're not feeling great after this wonderful holiday party, that is just not
Don't do that.
Definitely don't do that. On top of that, the opposite effect of the calming chamomile, too much caffeine is also just gonna make you feel a little more jittery and anxious when you're already not feeling your best. So it's just not gonna be the best remedy there.
Totally.
Any questions about that or anything you want to try?
What is this?
Yeah.
How does this work? Because I've never heard of this before.
So that's specifically a Untitled Tab. It's actually Electrolyte Tab. You can pop this top open. And you get these little guys that come out.
Cool.
Each tab can go in a cup of water. Do you want to do the honors? So these you'll see it fizzes a little bit. It takes a little while to break down, so we'll revisit it in a few minutes and see what we come back with. But then you kind of chug that down, you're super rehydrated. Or like I said, reach for nature's sports drink. That coconut water can be a great alternative.
Cool.
After you've hydrated and you like that coconut water, we're dissolving that beautiful Electrolyte Tab. We can have you take a sip of that too. Next thing, you probably want to just get a good breakfast in you, really, because
for sure.
At this point, your blood sugar is probably low from the night
before.
You're starving, and your body needs needs nourishment, yes. So that's why I think of one of the easiest meals in the world, especially if you're just not feeling great the next morning, to throw together really quickly, is a smoothie.
Sick.
You know, opposite.
I drink smoothies like literally every day.
Perfect. So this day should be no exception. When you're feeling your lowest, a smoothie is only going to help to provide further nutrition. The reason I really like it is because it's an easy way to check off those protein, fat, and fiber boxes. You can use really antioxidant-rich fruits. I mean, the most famous for a reason, and personally my favorite, blueberries. Right? These are probably one of the highest antioxidant fruits and vegetables out there. So this is something we want to add. If you want to just put a couple scoops in, we can start putting this in our blender right here.
Okay.
But always start a bake with a little bit of sweetness and a good, you get a little bit of fiber in there and nice antioxidants. Again, your body gets under oxidative stress when you have things it doesn't like, whether that's alcohol or too much sugar or gluten or dairy or whatever food that you had at a holiday party that's not sitting well. The reason antioxidants are important is because those foods put your body in oxidative stress, and this helps to fight that. So this is like one of the best ways to combat that, as opposed to maybe taking an aspirin or something, right? So blueberries are going to be great for that. The next thing too, this is actually our Parsley Health Protein Powder. I mean, and you can really use any different plant-based protein powder, but the reason this one's especially helpful if you're not feeling your best is because it contains a full spectrum of different vitamins and minerals that are going to help you. Again, this is a way for you to get electrolytes through food. There's electrolytes in here. There's going to be electrolytes through your blueberries. So the same way you get it through what you're drinking, you can get through your food too. So you can go ahead and put a scoop or two of that in there as well. That's going to give you a little bit of protein for the smoothie to help balance out the meal a little bit. And beyond that, you know, sorry about that, I'm just gonna go over here. I also like a good nut or seed in there to give you a little bit of healthy fat. You don't want too much fat in your smoothie, especially if you're not feeling great the next day.
Yeah.
We just went through when talking about like maybe feeling nauseous and stuff. If you have too high of a fat smoothie or too high of a fat meal, actually gonna do the opposite for you, right? You're actually gonna feel more lethargic and makes it heavy. So a little bit goes a long way here. Maybe like 2 tablespoons of chia seeds could be a good way to do that. Great for fiber, the chia seeds too. Are you a big chia seed fan?
I love chia seeds.
Yeah, same.
I like chia pudding.
And that's
breakfast,
honestly, that's another
oats,
meal you could make pretty easily if you wanted to do like a coconut milk
So you
smoothie.
just soak them?
These are just gonna go right in there. You know, typically it's beautiful. Chia seeds, when they get into water, they create these gelatinous pearls, and they do the same thing inside your body. They create like these fibrous matrix. That's why they're high in fiber. They help to move things through. So I'm sure you've watched these bloom when they sit in water, right? They turn really big.
It's
They're
beautiful.
Do that in that. If you like that texture, some people hate that
I
texture.
love it.
Great.
It's so good. It's so weird.
If you let this sit
it.
after you blend, that'll happen.
Okay.
If you are someone that doesn't like that, maybe a good alternative for the chia seeds here would be like flax seeds, for example, because they don't really have that same mechanism. Some people don't love the texture that it provides. I'm a personal fan, as are you, so we would do that. So we have a kind of good base here. And then another thing I'd want to add is some greens. Another great way to kind of provide your body some additional nutrients to help with detoxification. I don't know where they are. So then we got some good old cruciferous veg here. Another great thing for your liver detoxification helps to boost those phase 2 enzymes to help you detoxify a little bit. We got some chopped kale here, which will help to add a little bit of texture and certainly a little bit of more antioxidants to this guy. And just honestly, if you're not feeling your best, you sometimes don't always crave vegetables.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good way to hide them in a meal, right? Probably harder to hide in a chia seed pudding, but awesome to hide in a smoothie. Also really easy
Should
to
I
put
just close
in
my
like
eyes
soup.
with it so I don't see it?
That's right, right?
Okay.
That's beautiful. That's a good amount. And that's not even a note, so we're blend it up, just not even notes in there. And also you want to top it off with some liquid. I chose here an almond milk. You can really choose whatever type of, you could do water if you wanted. Honestly, if you wanted to add in a little bit of your favorite over here, coconut water, you could get a little more electrolytes in there. But particularly, I know you're sensitive to dairy, so we're trying to avoid too much adding additional dairy in. You're like,
No.
yeah, I'm good.
Let's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can skip it. It's fine.
Exactly. So we pour that in. And then I want to talk about a little added bonus, which might sound a little bit funky. Is herbs and spices are really easy ways to get in a little extra boost here.
Should I put enough?
You can be a little more generous if you want. Absolutely.
You know?
Put a little bit more in there. All right. You just fill it to midway. That looks perfect. But we think about like different herbs and spices you can add. Obviously, we're a little biased here. We love parsley. Parsley is going to be something that's really rich in chlorophyll.
We like parsley?
Yeah, we love parsley, don't you?
Yeah.
It's really great.
Me too.
Maybe a little bit of gourmet parsley.
Yeah, gourmet parsley. Organic.
But anyway, parsley's gonna it's really rich in chlorophyll, so it's also something that is really detoxifying for the body when you're just not feeling your best. Cilantro, which is a great binder of toxins, has a particular flavor, so
I
maybe
love
not
cilantro.
everyone's cup
Why
of
do
tea.
people like it?
Actually,
It's
some
half and half.
It's true. It's actually genetic. So some people actually have a specific gene which makes their taste buds react to cilantro, make it feel astringent and soapy when they eat it. It is weird. So it actually to them tastes like eating soap.
So I'm lucky.
Yes, you don't have that gene obviously.
Lucky.
So usually when people don't like it, they don't like it for a reason. But I'm in the same camp as you. I love it. If you can tolerate it and you do like it, a little goes a long way again, but it's a great toxin binder. So it's something, again, if things are still floating around there from the night before, it really can help to bind some of those toxins and eliminate them for you. Start you getting feeling better faster for the day. Mint is a really great one, similar to ginger, really great for digestion, mint, because it has those wonderful menthol essential oils in there. Or you could even do like turmeric if you wanted to make it a little bit anti-inflammatory. You could add ground ginger, or you could slice up the fresh ginger in here. These are just added bonuses, and honestly, they all offer a different bit of a flavor profile. She's gonna go ahead and make it orange, which is always my favorite benefit of putting in the turmeric as powder as well.
It's cute.
Absolutely. So we're just gonna mix this up, and honestly, we'll get you going for a great breakfast meal. Again, really easy for her to digest and get down, easy delivery of nutrients. She's gonna have a lot of surface area to get those nutrients in the fastest she can when she's not feeling her best.
Yeah.
Smoothie success.
Work.
Yep.
Love it.
Love it.
Delish.
Are you feeling hydrated? Are you feeling energized?
I feel like
at
a
this
new
point?
person, actually.
Amazing.
I feel new all of a sudden. I had one sip, and I'm like, who am I?
And it's probably only like 10 a.m. in your day right now, right?
Yeah.
We've only done had one meal of our day. So, I mean, obviously, you want to give yourself a little bit of time to digest what you just ate, what you just drank. So, take a little time. I mean, this is time for you. If you're really not feeling great, take some time for self-care. Get on your yoga mat, maybe stretch a little bit.
Love.
Do something for yourself. Take a walk outside and help your body digest and move and just kind of cultivate that mind-body practice when we're not feeling great. I think that's a really good thing to focus on. But then fast forward a few hours, you're hungry again, right?
Starving.
And the inevitable part of maybe not feeling our best is we tend to crave carbohydrates when we're fatigued, like you mentioned, because your body knows that that is the easiest way for you to get energy. Sometimes we like to think like it's a willpower problem, like, oh my God, why am I craving sugar? Why am I craving pasta and bread?
Yeah.
That's not a willpower problem. That is your body being so smart, smarter than you even realize, because it's craving the easiest macronutrient for you to get energy quickest.
Cool.
Right? We talked about fat taking a little bit a while for actually make us energized. Protein, same thing. Carbohydrate, right off the bat. So if you're trying to feel better, I know like you're feeling like holiday parties have thrown us off, eating wise, drinking wise, all of those things. There are smarter ways to replace some of those, carbohydrate-rich foods, as opposed to like maybe going out and get a bagel, which is actually going to make you feel not so great.
Bagels make me feel sick.
Yes.
I love them.
digestion.
So honestly, I love them so much.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Not the vibe.
Right. It's
Not always.
It's one of those things that doesn't love you back. That's
They
what
don't
I like
love
to say.
me. I
Yes.
love them.
Right. So we love them. We love eating them.
They don't
and then
love me.
they sit inside
That's
of us
okay.
and they tear us apart. They just don't make us feel good. We're talking about that bloating you were experiencing, that fatigue. Bagels are one of those foods I think off right at the top of the bat that maybe do that. While they do provide carbohydrate, which I'm just saying provides energy, they come with like a lot of preservatives and gluten and different things like that aren't going to make you feel optimally energized and your best when you're already not feeling great, right?
Totally.
But a really great way to do that, instead of like maybe even going for like a gluten-free bagel, which also might be full of just like
Soy.
or it could be full of like, bleached grains and other types
Nightmares.
of honestly just corn nightmares of GMO, gently modified corn products or rice are just not the best things. Those aren't much better. So nature's bread, in a way, one of the best tricks is actually sweet potato. I know that you might be like, this is not the same as bread. Oh, believe me, it is. These
I
toasts,
eat potato. Potatoes are my food of the year.
amazing.
I eat potatoes every day. Some people might not be into that. Potatoes are my thing.
Potatoes
So
are a
this is my dream, pretty much. Just
Yeah.
a plate of potatoes. We don't need to put anything on them, but we can.
We can make them even better. You can eat them by themselves as is. I mean, we've been talking so much about electrolytes. This orange color in here is always, potassium-rich foods tend to be orange. One potato, whether it's sweet potato or white potato, actually has more potassium than a banana. So people like to think of bananas as most potassium-rich fruit. They certainly can be. They really are high potassium.
So I'm not
But-
deficient in potassium.
No, you love your coconut water. You have your
I love
bananas.
it.
You love your potatoes.
I'm filled with potassium.
But again, it's one of the fastest electrolytes to kind of leave your body when you're drinking alcohol, when you're dehydrated. So again, replenishing with it can be important. And more importantly here than the electrolyte aspect, which we might have covered with all the other things we've already done so far,
More electrolyte.
this is going to be a source of complex carbohydrate.
Okay.
And the reason this is different than a bagel, which is more of a simple carbohydrate, is because it comes packaged with nature's fiber and everything like that. So it's going to have a slower release into your bloodstream. bagels, think about it. They're ground into flour first before you're actually consumed by them. All of that surface area is just spikes your blood sugar so quickly.
Nightmares.
Right? Nightmares, right? It's gonna make you feel maybe energetic for a second, but again, it's gonna sit heavy in your belly and not make you feel your best. This is gonna have the opposite effect. We think of this as more of like a slow burn for fuel from a carbohydrate perspective. So instead of giving you that peak and valley, it's gonna give you a more stable spike. Even to make it even more stabilizing for you, we can add things to the sweet potato. We can think about a couple different ways. Would you like savory or sweet stuff?
I prefer sweet, but I love savory too.
Okay, so maybe
Sweet's my favorite.
So we don't have to pick. I'm gonna give you 2 options.
Okay.
Or maybe even 3. We could do something on these toasts. You could make, or you can make different types if you're kind of just in a mood for a bunch of different stuff.
You know what I mean?
Yes, maybe do a couple
I'll
each.
that.
We could do almond butter with some banana, for example.
Sick.
Put that on top of the sweet potato
Should I make
toast.
it?
Yes, that would be great.
Why not?
Just so you guys know, these sweet potatoes are not raw. We have already prepared them, and by cutting them and baking them.
Why do I like this one the most?
Because it's so
cute.
orange and it's so full of potassium.
And it's pretty.
So she's gonna put a little bit of almond butter on there, which again comes with its own array of health benefits.
You know,
for
I've
her
never
to-
had sweet potato toast.
Ever. Oh my gosh.
It's like such a hot trend.
And it's also something really nice that you can prepare in advance for yourself. So you know, if it is the next day after you had one of those wonderful holiday parties, you're not feeling your best, it might be something you want to prepare. But if you're
Night before.
preparing in advance, this is something you could really use the next day. That would be really nice.
Problem is, I'll eat it.
the night when you get home from the party, maybe.
Potatoes will be gone by the way.
Yes, absolutely. But again, something that's nice to prepare in advance for the
Cute.
week, even if just like a work week as a meal prep thing, if you'd like. We could put some banana on there if you'd like.
Cute.
I'm gonna open this guy up. I mean, and also if you wanted to make another one, this also serve as a great tool for eggs. If you wanted to have like an easy protein.
Love.
Sometimes when I'm not
That's like a
feeling in the
dream.
mood to whip up a lot of like a big chicken or whatever. Eggs take 2 seconds. This can go great with that. You can pair it with some greens and avocado, whatever.
Sick.
Eggs are also another great way to hide your greens, similar to the smoothie. Make them scrambled up. They wilt really nicely in there, and just
True.
whether to trick yourself into getting more greens when maybe you're not feeling like you want them, but
Cool.
you need them. Cool. And like another alternative, we talked about like bagels. Maybe this is like a cool alternative for that. Pasta. This is even more of a direct alternative for that. I don't know if you've ever had like a legume or a lentil-based pasta before. I'm sure as someone with a gluten intolerance, I'm sure you've experimented with some stuff like this before. We were talking about this before. The secret to making this taste more like pasta is not overcooking it. Yeah, you really want to be careful because
I've used pastas like this before, and I cook them for like a few extra minutes, and it turns to mush, sort of. But you know, a few less minutes.
So absolutely, that is true. If you make the mistake of turning it into mush to save them, what I've done before is make it into a pasta salad or mashed potatoes. You make it into a pasta salad. If you put them in the refrigerator again, they'll re-harden, and you could like put olive oil and pesto or tomatoes and make it like a pasta salad if you wanted. But if you haven't gone too far and you can save them, I really tend to think like 6 to 7 minutes is a little bit better. I think on here they might say like, well, this has 6 to 8 minutes. This one's so really try to stay conservative with the 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And that'll really be perfect for you. If you're feeling like, I know this might be another big night for you tonight. You're going out again. To one of to another holiday event.
Yeah.
So again, do you know if you're gonna be eating foods or kind of drinks that maybe you don't normally again, kind of?
Probably.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to have like the best homemade cider I've ever seen in my whole life that I have to try, and I don't have an option. And I'm like, I'm allergic to cider, but I'm still gonna have it.
Right.
Yep. You know?
Yes, absolutely.
Because I have to try all the things.
Mm-hmm. And particularly with alcohol, we want to like coat our belly before we maybe drink anything like that, so we just absorb it slower. So this is unlike the beginning where I was like, don't go overboard on the fat with the smoothie. This is where you'd actually want to put a little extra fat in your dinner meal before you head out, so it slows down the absorption of the alcohol in your system, for example, or kind of all the foods in general. So what I like, you can definitely make your own sauce for this, but you can also, pesto is really great for this.
I love pesto.
We just mixed up that smoothie. This would be the same thing if you want to make your own pesto. You just put basil and garlic, and you put a little bit of pine nuts and lemon, extra virgin olive oil, blend it.
I love a homemade pesto.
Exactly. And
I'm addicted to pine nuts too. It's like
delicious.
It's so weird.
Honestly, if you wanted to put pine nuts on one of these toasts, you could have done that too. A really easy way to incorporate it. That said, you're not feeling well, you've had a crazy week with all your different events and things that you've had and obligations you had to go to. So we're just using a really nice quality pesto. This is Gotham Greens, and just like what I was saying before, I love this pesto because it's really simple ingredients.
You know what I like?
Yeah.
They have a kale pesto. Trader Joe's.
Kale pesto is...
It's sick. It's like a vegan, yummy...
That would be another alternative here. And this is something so easy. After you've just boiled the water, put this in for, again, 6 minutes.
Pesto, and we're done.
You put a little pesto on, you're done, you're ready for
Toast my
your night.
pine nuts that I got.
Added bonus before you go out, again, if you want to coat that stomach, I love golden milk, especially when I'm not feeling
What
great.
is golden milk?
Exactly like it sounds.
Why have I never heard
Makes
of that?
You really never heard of it before. I mean, it's very popular in like.
Or like a golden milk latte?
Exactly.
Yes,
That's
I
exactly
have.
what this is. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's something that you can make at home. It's something that you obviously can get out sometimes. But really, the secret ingredient, what makes it gold, is turmeric. Again, I know we talked about this briefly before, but especially the day after, when we're kind of not feeling our greatest, maybe we rely on aspirin for an anti-inflammatory. This is nature's aspirin. This is going to be such a strong anti-inflammatory agent.
Cool.
In order to increase the bioavailability of this and make sure you're absorbing it, 2 things need to happen. Black pepper helps to increase the absorption, and some type of fat. So here we're going to use coconut milk, and we're going to use black pepper, and we're going to use turmeric. We're going to mix this up. I mean, you could definitely make this. You could kind of make this hot. You could put this on the stove and boil this a little bit. Put 1 to 2 teaspoons of the turmeric in. You could put a cinnamon stick in there if you wanted. Certainly want to crack some fresh black pepper. Pour it all in here, and maybe sip while you're getting ready to go out for your next night on the town.
Cool.
You have just filled up with water, coconut water, a smoothie, maybe some nutrient-dense sweet potatoes. We've done savory and sweet and really nutrient-dense varieties of things, mostly 100% plant-based here, anti-inflammatory nutrients. Girl, if you're not feeling energized and ready to go out,
I don't know what's wrong with
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You may have bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
But that said, I mean, so these are kind of some of my best wellness hacks to do on days maybe you're not feeling your best. This doesn't necessarily apply to only holiday season, right? This can be any day you're not feeling your greatest. Really relying on the power of whole foods, herbs, spices, fruits, vegetables, tons of fiber, balancing meals with protein and fat and fiber. Such an important thing for you to balance your energy and feel consistently well throughout your life.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome.
I'm pumped.
Yes, thanks. I hope you learned a thing or two. Again, any of these work for any day of the year, not just when you're not feeling the best, but they're particularly helpful when you're not and during the holiday season. So,
Yay.
cheers.
Cheers.